Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat on Michigan Business Network. Jeffrey Mosier sitting in for Chris Holman on the road, Michigan Central, the Grand Old Railroad station in Detroit, Michigan. And we're on hand for CAR MBS, the Center for Automotive Research's Management Briefing Seminars 60th anniversary. And for folks that have been around Michigan Business Network for many years now, one of our broadcasters, Steve Purdy, his show, the Shunpikers Journal, emeritus status. We share stories from him when possible, and he's always welcome to share stories with us as well. Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, Steve.
Well, thanks, Jeffrey. Appreciate it. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, since you were regularly doing programming for us, what's been on the road for you?
Whoa. Well, the last couple of years has been mostly producing my new book, Mascots in Motion, which is kind of a legacy project for me, where I've taken my best photographs for the last 40 years of automotive design details, hood ornaments and reflections and side mounts and all of that kind of thing, put them into an art book, which is now pretty much my full-time job, is selling that. But I do get around to these events sometimes. The management briefing seminars I haven't covered for some years, since it was in Traverse City. But I'll tell you, this new venue at the train station, it's just wonderful. It's a smaller event now, much smaller than it used to be, but I think it fits this venue really quite well.
Perfectly. And you've only been on hand for a couple hours here around the scene today, but speak to your experiences and some of your takeaways. Go deeper into that.
Wow. Well, yes. The management briefing seminars are primarily for the business people, the engineers, the people inside the auto industry who actually produce those wonderful cars. So it's a lot of technology. But for me, there's a lot of aesthetics around in that whole system too. You know how, and in the days when we were still in Traverse City, they had usually a half a dozen sessions about auto design. Now, I didn't see any of those on the menu here this year. But I'm just sitting in the general assembly there, and looking around the room. I'm watching the demographics of who's here this time, and it's a lot of youngsters, a lot of young engineers, more people of color and more women than I think I've ever seen at a management briefing seminars. So it's wonderful to be a part of that. You know, I can sit and listen to these tech presentations and understand the basics of it, but I don't understand it all. But it's just it's great to be a part of the auto industry in Michigan in that capacity as well.
Perfect. And so tell us more about your coffee table book, your tabletop book.
Yes. Well, it's, as I say, it's an art book. When I decided to do the best of my photography, I wanted it to be an art book. So I found a company in Grand Rapids that just produces art books. And so they get credit for the wonderful presentation of this book with 314 pages, 320 images, and about 50,000 words, just enough to tie those all together and put them in context. So it's it's a 10-inch by 12-inch format, 5 pounds, and it's just been a pleasure putting it together. But now I got a bunch of them to sell, so that's mostly what I'm doing now, is selling this wonderful art book.
For those out there, are any of the photos that you caught at the Concours d'Elegance over the years, were those some of the photos that ended up in the book?
Yes, the photos in the book, 320 of them, like I say, came from Concours d'Elegance, which is the most elegant of car shows. Came from junkyards, like one in Middle Tennessee, which I notate in the book. I got probably a half a dozen shots from there. But it's every man's car shows, it's Concours d'Elegance, it's backyards, it's junkyards, it's wherever an image of a design detail caught my eye. The thing about this book is, what makes it different from all the other similar books is all of the images in the book are shot in the wild. In other words, no indoor shots, nothing I was looking for, no studio shots. It's just those images that caught my eye.
As we go to wrap up, Steve, I know you're not deeply involved in the industry any longer, but you keep your eyes and ears open. And from where you were when you were testing a different car and reporting on it and giving your critiques of them weekly, has the industry evolved as you expected it, or has it moved in a direction that you didn't anticipate?
Well, if we're talking about when I first started doing those product reviews, which I did for about 15 years, it was a wonderful thing, but it was a lot of work. Yes, it's entirely different. In the early 2000s, basically, when I started doing that, nobody thought that electric cars were going to be such a big part of the market. In fact, a few people predicted, oh yeah, it's going to be a big thing, but it was very slow to develop. Now, most of the industry's R&D is going into electrics and hybrids and all of those kind of things. Now, the pure electrics have waned in recent years. The public has not accepted them like most expected, but they're still there, and the electrification of automobiles is really on track. But the other thing about it is, I don't think anybody would have anticipated the effect of the deep technology, like artificial intelligence and all of those things, how ingrained that became and is becoming in automotive design and engineering and production.
As we wrap up, where can folks get Mascots in Motion?
Oh, they can get it on my website, shunpikerproductions.com. That's Shunpiker, S-H-U-N-P-I-K-E-R, one who shuns the turnpike. Shunpikerproductions.com. They can buy that online. It's shipped out to them, and every book gets personally inscribed to the buyer.
Steve, thank you so much for spending some time with the Michigan Business Beat today.
Well, thanks for inviting me, Jeffrey.
Excellent. And once again, our emeritus host of a Shunpikers Journal, and you'll see a periodic written content there, and maybe as he has the opportunity, he'll share some more shows with us on a schedule to be determined. But we've been on hand for the management briefing seminars for Center for Automotive Research, number 60, and back in the Motor City at Michigan Central. We'll be back with more on the Michigan Business Beat on Michigan Business Network.